Hey guys, what's going on? Tommy Oliver here, and I just wanted to make a video saying we finally have made it 1 year of Rebel Pixels, and we have made it past 5,000 subscribers, which is the next big milestone. Actually, I want to do this for 5,000 subscribers, but we're at 6,000 now, so that's pretty awesome. I don't usually do like subscriber specials. I don't really normally know what to do for these, because I figure the thing people probably want is just more content. But I figured this channel kind of has a lot of product reviews and stuff, like this is a cool thing, this is a cool thing. So I figured maybe for the 6,000, 5,000 subscriber special, I would show what I use to make this channel. These are the personal things that I've chosen out of everything I could possibly get to use in my personal workflow to make Sorcerer's Lost, to make Rebel Pixels, and whatever the hell else I feel like doing. I guess probably another thing is that people usually do in these videos is talk about goals, future goals, now that we've hit 6,000 subscribers. I think 6,000 subscribers for a year is pretty good, considering I haven't been super religious about doing this channel. It's definitely more of a hobby channel. I don't really make any money off of it. I'd like to hit 10K by the end of the year. Will it happen? I don't know. I didn't crunch the numbers or anything. I'm not like super stressing it or anything. But 10K would be nice by the end of the year to get into 5 digits. Yeah, 5 digits. That'd be pretty cool. But just that you guys are here for the ride is great. And hopefully I can keep getting cool videos out to you about kind of niche art things. And we can keep each other motivated by having this continual dialogue about creativity going. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some stuff. So we're going to start out with probably the most important, as well as the one that means the most to me. This is my main workstation. This is what I edit all of Rebel Pixels on. This is what I create all of Sorcerer's Lost on. This is what I edit all of Tommy Oliver TV on. This is the thing. This is kind of the heart that makes everything happen. I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? Anybody who has been following this channel lately probably knows a little bit about this, because it was you guys who allowed me to get this. I had another workstation. It died, and I had to replace it. And so you guys donated some money and paid for, I'd say, roughly 60% of it. I threw in the rest of the 40 and made this happen. So this is a completely up-to-date workstation. It's not using workstation class components. It's using consumer grade components, because I don't really do anything that requires ridiculous high-end workstation grade hardware. It's running a Skylake Core i7-6770K. It has 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. It has a R7 360. I didn't spend a lot on graphics because I knew I wasn't going to need anything ridiculous in terms of graphics, because I don't game that much, and Adobe and all that stuff doesn't really need super high-end graphics. It just needs something there. There's a lot of room for expansion if I need to get a better graphics card down the road, which I probably will. That's just how these things work. Lots of drive space. I spent a lot of money on this getting the CPU, because I wanted that to last for a while, especially now that Intel has gone from a tick-tock cycle to a 3-year cycle. It's going to last at least 3 years, if not more. But drives were a lot of things that I spent money on. It has a 2 terabyte hard drive. It has a 256 gig SSD and a 256 gig NVMe SSD, which is super fast. That's the boot disk. This thing friggin' flies, which is awesome. It's running Windows 10 Home 64. Actually, it's Windows 10 Pro 64. For some reason, when I updated from Windows 8, which was a home license, they upgraded me to 10 Pro. And I just used the license that I had for my last system. I wasn't going to pay $100 to get another copy of Windows 10. I didn't really need to do that. So the other thing I wanted to kind of do is show you what's on the actual computer, because the hardware is one thing. And like, I mean, I'd shoot more glory shots of it, but I don't want to kind of take it all out from here. But the software is just as important, because that's what I use to make everything. So I figured, in addition to just talking about the system, I could show you what's on there. So, transition! Okay, so here we are on my desktop. So, I use a couple different programs to make all this stuff happen. You can see I got a smorgasbord of stuff down here. Now, just a reminder, obviously I do a bunch of different things. I do comics, illustration, I guess you could call it animation, quote unquote. 3D modeling, and obviously making videos. So I got a bunch of stuff down here that is a bunch of different things. So, we got the Twitters and the email and the Skype and the Discord and the browser and all that crap, but we don't care about that. We already know what all that stuff is. The first thing that I really like using for my drawing stuff is a program called Design Doll. and it's basically a free pose tool, because I am a hack, and as a proud hack, I use references up the wazoo, otherwise I can't make anything presentable. So this is just a 3D doll, essentially, and you can pose it however you want. You can change all the proportions, and you can change, the way it's posed. You can move the body around, it twists and turns, and it has some basic kind of inverse kinematics on it, so if you drag parts of the body, the rest kind of react with it. Of course, it's a little finicky. It's free, so it's kind of, it gets the job done, but it's not like the best thing in the world. For the price, I can't really complain. You can move individual fingers and stuff. So if I want to do like a Spider-Man kind of thing, I can do that. So you can see, easy to set up hands and stuff, which is great for references because you can do it in any perspective you want. And hands are, of course, like this shot. Even just this pose right here would be fucking stupid hard to do. Then you can go in here and you can change body faces and proportions and stuff, so I can make the face kind of more realistic, or I can make it chubbier or more masculine, and you can mix and match all of these kind of things. You can do this obviously with everything. So if you want to have like really busty, you can change that, or if more of like male torso or like a ripped torso with abs and stuff, so you can go all out on this and really tweak it and make the figure look however you want, and then pose it and have a decent reference. I haven't dug into this very much because I used to use the references built into Maga Studio, which are good, but they were very laggy. This runs a lot smoother on this system, and it has better inverse kinematics, I would say. So I'm testing it out. It's free also, so I figured if I really like it, and it becomes my de facto reference, I'll do a RoboPixels video on it, obviously, because I'm sure you guys would be interested in it. So this is, excuse me, a little sneak peek. But yeah, design doll, great, love it. Next thing is my primary art program, which is Artrage. I've talked about Artrage a couple times on live streams and stuff, back when I actually did fucking live streams, which I need to start doing again now that I have a new computer. Hopefully I can. I really like this program, mostly because it has the best inking tool I've ever used for my kind of art style. So you can jump in here, and it has like really nice post correction, which I find is really helpful for my style, because I do like really bold, thick lines, and you can see it has a stabilizer. When I let go of the stroke, it cleans it up a little bit. And since I really want to get that like crisp, bold line art kind of look, you can see that looks okay. Once I let go, it cleans it all up, and it kind of helps get rid of the digital kind of effect. You know how a stylus will track the jitteriness in your hand more than a normal pencil would, just because it's digital. It's kind of more perfect, I guess, if you want to. Maybe I just have shaky hands. I do have shaky hands, so it could just be I'm a fucking like talentless hack on top of it. But for me, this works really well. So you just kind of go in here and just do your thing. Again, I'm terrible without references, so this is going to turn out like garbage. But yeah, I don't even know. I guess that's a hair thing, and then we can do something. I don't even know. But you get the idea. That's kind of the main reason why I use this. It also has a great pencil tool. It's designed to emulate natural media, so you could. It really feels like when you're sketching on here, it feels like you're sketching with an actual pencil, which I'm like a huge proponent of pen and paper. Before I discovered Artrage, I would do all of my penciling on actual paper. But this, it's like 80 to 90% of the same kind of feeling I would get, combined with the D13, which I'll talk about in a second, which I already did a whole video on, but I'm still using the D13. I love it. They just kind of come together to make a really natural workflow for me. So I can sketch almost as naturally here on the D13 in Artrage than I would in real life, I guess, if you want to call it that. So, I'm just kind of herpa-derping right now, but just kind of show you how nice the pencil tool is and how it works similarly to a real pencil. And they got like, watercolors on here and oil pastel and other like traditional media that I'll never mess with because I'm a hack, and I can do like cell shading, and that's pretty much it. That's the extent of my skills. But then if I wanted to go in here on top of this and start inking, you can kind of see how I go really loose with that, and then really just like fine control, the smoothing, and post correction helps give it that like crisper look that I like. And yeah. So this tool I find to be invaluable. I do most of my drawing in this. Coloring, I still prefer Photoshop, just because I've used Photoshop forever. I can color in this, I don't think it comes out as well as the same process in Photoshop, just because there's not 100% analogous processes, if you want to get semi-big words. But yeah, I like this a lot. It makes me happy, and I can get stuff done, and at the end of the day, it's all that really matters. So, there we go. Yeah, whatever. That's really bad. But that's Artrage, which I really like too. Next up, Medibank Paint, which I'm going to do a video on soon. Oh, went to my top monitor. Yeah, shut up. Let me bring this down here. So this is the new version, I guess, of Fire Alpaca, which has been a free art program that's been around forever. Not the biggest fan for me personally, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. I want to do another video soon called Top 5 More Free Art Programs, and this is going to be one of them. It's really nice. So I've been messing around with a couple other free art programs that people have recommended to me in the comments of that video, like Krita and Medibank are the two big ones that people keep talking about. So I'm looking at those, and yeah, I don't use this too much. I was using this for panels for a while because it has a really nice feature for making panels. So if you just make a new document here, if you go to, I think it's layer, add panel material, and then you can change the line width and stuff. I like very thick panels. You can change the color, and I like the crown and stuff. It makes this, and I can go in here with the knife tool, and I can easily make more panels. I can change them up however I want. Then you hold down Shift, you can make diagonal panels, and it spaces them out all, you know, pretty nicely, and you can adjust the spacing between all these panels, and you just kind of just go to town and do whatever you want. Obviously, the gap between these is friggin' massive, so you'd want to change that. But you can also go in here, I think, with this tool, and from there you can click on panels and manually adjust them even further. So this is really cool if you want to make comics like on the cheap, because like this is super flexible and it's great for laying out pages insanely quickly. Like doing this in Photoshop would take forever. So I think probably, if nothing else, I might just do panels with this, because that's what I've been doing for Sorcerer's Lost for the last like couple of months, is just using this exclusively for making panels. But it does way more than that, and if you're not locked into a specific workflow like I am at this point, this is a great option. I'll have a full video on it soon with a couple other free programs that people have been letting me know about. So Medibank, great option, my personal panel layout of choice. Alright, next up we got HitFilm. I have HitFilm Pro and HitFilm Express. So hopefully I'll put this up after I made my video on HitFilm 4 Express, which just came out 2 days ago as of recording this. But I also have a copy of HitFilm 4 Pro, which is a reviewer copy. It is not a full copy, so it expires, I think, in a couple months. They've wanted me to make a video on this forever. And I keep saying, like, oh, I'm going to do it, and then I got sick, I was in the hospital. This was back in, like, I think November, almost, when they wanted me to do this, and it's friggin', like, 6 months since then, and I haven't done it yet. But I love HitFilm. I know a lot of people watch my HitFilm 3 Express. It's like half of my traffic on this channel are like, oh, you're being paid to do it. I was not paid to do it. I just really like it. I've been using it since HitFilm Express 2. So this is HitFilm 4 Pro. Fantastic program for media, for, you know, editing video, but also for doing compositing and effects work. So I guess this would technically be effects work, Sorcerer's Lost. So you can see I've taken all those panels from Medibank and imported them in here and animated them and put content inside of them that I also drew in Artrage. So it all just kind of comes together here. This is where everything kind of happens. So this is like one of the shots later in the thing, which by later I mean like, I want to say, I think this is the 7th update overall on the site, which will be launching soon. Maybe it'll be launched by the time I put this out, because it's almost showtime. But yeah, this is my baby, my super important project that I'm putting a lot of time and effort into. So hopefully, maybe it's out by the time you're watching this and you're a fan. That would be cool. Patreon.com/SorcerorsLost. Anyways, Express is exactly the same, just lacks some features. So I'm going to do a video on Express and on Pro in the future. Express hopefully is out by the time you see this, because that's another project for this weekend. So I want to jump on that quick. But I'll do one on Pro as well, because I think they said that they're actually going to let me have the the license full stop if I do a video. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if it's true. That'd be nice, because there are a couple features. I would love to start using the chroma key feature in HitFilm 4 Pro, because there's a difference key, which is like a basic version of chroma keying in Express, but there isn't the good chroma. There's a fucking amazing chroma key tool in this program. So I bought a bunch of new lights because I want to get rid of my ugly background and design a nice one and use it as a chroma key background for all my videos going forward. So I love this program. I know it sounds like paid advertisement, and that's the point. Like, I'm kind of sponsored by them, sort of. They haven't paid me anything, but they might be giving me a license. But I have been using it exclusively for the last couple years. I ditched Premiere and used HitFilm for everything. So I do like it that much. So yeah, HitFilm, great. Next up is Blender, which if you guys have been following Sorcerer's Lost for a while, you probably know my work with Blender. I usually use it for 3D backgrounds because I'm too lazy to draw backgrounds. Let's open up the Tavern, which I made last year. God, I've been working on this project forever. Oh man, navigating this is fun. This is an open source program, so you can see the UI is already just disgusting. But what are you gonna do? I need to go to Dropbox. Work files. No, it's not in here. Oh no, it's in 3D models. I panicked for a second. Let's go to Tavern Outside.blend. No one's seen the outside part yet. Oh, I think I have it all hidden. Alt-H. I haven't used this in forever. Yeah, so you can see it's green and ugly because it's all the green's going to be keyed out for the dot effect that you saw in the last shot from HitFilm. So I bring it all into there, and I use the difference key, or the chroma key, to chroma key out all the green. So this is just a 3D model of a tavern that's going to be a big part of the beginning of Sorcerer's Lost. So right now it's all in ugly green mode, but if I take this and go to texture mode, no. Material mode, no. I don't remember. Rendered mode? Sort of. That looks kind of better. But you can see there's some textures on here. It takes forever to render in this mode. I thought it was material mode. Maybe... I don't know. Actually, no, I'll show you. This is the model. And you can kind of... If I do H again, maybe it'll hide. You can see it's got an inside and everything. If you've been following Sorcerer's Lost for a while, you've seen all this before. But this is the actual model. I don't know why it's all pink. I think one of the textures... pink usually means the texture there is gone, which means I might have to remake that texture because I've gone through like 3 machines since I last did it. But you can see some of the things have textures, like this barrel over here. It's supposed to look like a 3D model. If you want to see what this looks like done, I can open up a file for you. Let's go. Still have the old webcomic pages from when I was going to just do it as a webcomic. I've jumped around so many formats. This is what it looks like when it's all finished and keyed. It'll come out and look like that. So that's the front of the tavern. So you can see there's a little barrel just rotating around, and it looks pretty nice. And it mixes in with the style of my 2D art pretty well. So here's another shot of the interiors. There's some of the tables, and I drew in some characters. So this is all later in Sorcerer's Lost, which I'm going to kind of repurpose as the motion comic to keep it all going nice. But for a while it was a comic, trying to keep it on Tumblr, but I decided to make my own website. So yeah, Blender, you can see how all these tools come together to make one product, which is pretty cool. So that's Blender. I don't really have much more to look at. Yeah, get out of here. Brackets, which is pretty boring. It's a text editor. I coded all of sorcererslost.com in brackets, which is live but not announced yet. Hopefully, maybe it'll be announced by the time this goes up. So this is a website in not pretty mode. So I've got a bunch of different pages. They all have the code. That I hand coded it because I'm insane. And these are just all the pages. And then if you go here and I go File Preview, we can open it up. And this is the site. So all that code turns into this, which is fun. Hopefully I'm not spoiling anybody because this hopefully should be live by the time I edit and post this video. Shooting for an early May launch date, and it's the 30th of April right now. This is going really long. I should probably wrap this up. Anything else cool on here? Audacity for video recording, OBS, which I'm recording this with right now, and that's it. So yeah, that's the stuff on my computer. Other than the computer itself, there are another couple interesting things that I use with the computer. Obviously, you guys all know the Artisal D13. I did a whole video on this. This is the latest tablet I got for review. It's also my favorite. It's the one that's become my personal tool. So I've done most of the drawing for Sorceress Lost on this thing. Another nice thing I got is obviously my monitor, just a basic 1080p IPS display, webcam. I got a Samson Meteor mic over here. I do most of my live streams and recording for my videos when they're not shot on camera with this microphone. Most of that stuff's for Tommy Oliver TV, since it's all just voice over footage. I have this mouse, which is actually my favorite mouse ever. This is the Logitech MX Master. It's a really nice sculpted mouse, feels great in the hand, nice amount of weight to it, some extra function buttons. Wish it was Bluetooth, it isn't. If you guys remember the MX Master from the Month of the MacBook video, which I'm going to address very shortly, actually should be out by the time this is posted. I like that mouse, but that one's still my favorite. And then this is something I got recently from a friend. It is a 3D Connection 3D mouse. I haven't messed with it at all yet. I'm probably going to mess with it in the next couple weeks because I'm going to need to do another 3D environment. But this is for navigating 3D programs more like you'd be doing something in 3D space, because it recognizes up, down, left, right, and forward, back instead of just two axes like a traditional mouse. I don't know. It's like $100. I paid nothing for it. I don't know if it's just a gimmick. Not a lot of people talk about them, but some people swear by them. So I got it for free. Figured I'll try it out. If it's cool, I'll make a video on it. If not, I'll probably never mention it besides this. But that's that. I just have a basic wireless keyboard that goes with the MX Performance, or Performance MX. It's just a Logitech, I don't even know, the K520. As I drop it, it's okay. I don't really have any problems with it, other than the fact that apparently it's slippery, because I just almost destroyed it. The last interesting thing is this desk. This desk is fucking tiny. You might have noticed that I changed my desk since the Month of the MacBook. I had a big table. It's actually right over there. It has a bunch of old, ancient Core 2 Duo computers I set up for an old school LAN for me and my friends. I got 4 of them set up and come over and play old games like Quake and Doom and stuff like that. So that's fun. But I wanted to get a vertical desk like this that had like one of these monitor shelves. Because you can see I got the main display up here, and then I got the drawing display down here. Because before I had the drawing display over here, the main display here. And that really wasn't working, because in order to bring this guy over here, I would have to put it on top of my keyboard or move the keyboard somewhere, and then the cables would get all wrapped around. So I wanted it to go vertical like this. And this works a lot better. I'm already doing a lot more drawing down here on this because it's right there. Funny thing though, bought this for $60 because it was cheap, and it had the vertical thing. And then 2 days after I got it in the mail, because I ordered it from Walmart, someone else dropped off a desk in front of their house, 2 houses down the road, for free. And it's a better version of this. So I might just box this back up and return it, because I grabbed it as soon as I saw it. But that's the computer thing. I guess the only other thing worth mentioning here is this. This is something I got back in high school. It's a drawing board. So if you want to, sometimes I still bust out the pencil and paper. And this is, you just prop it up and draw on it. It has a little clip so you can clip paper to there. It's also, this part right here is semi-transparent. So if you put a light through it, you can kind of see through it and do tracing if you need to do that. So that's pretty cool. That was a gift from my father back in middle school, I think. So that's something I'm never going to let go of, even if I don't ever use it that much anymore, because I'm kind of gone digital. So that's really it for this corner, but there's a couple more things I wanted to show you guys. So transition again. So that was my desktop, but of course, not everyone is going to be at their desktop all the time, and I still want to get work done. And if you guys are paying attention to the whole Month of the MacBook and then desktop destruction debacle, I made it up right now. I had to sell my MacBook to afford my part of the desktop. So what am I using on the road now? That's this guy right here. This is the Surface Pro 3, not the Surface Pro 4, because I'm Surface Pro 4. I'm sorry, that was awful. I'm very poor. So I got a, I don't even know, used, I don't want to say refurbished, used Surface Pro 3 off of eBay. This is the bottom of the barrel Surface Pro 3 with the Core i3, the 4 gigs of RAM, a paltry 64 gigs of SSD storage. But it came with a type cover, which is something you can't say about a retail Surface Pro 3. So, suck on that one, Microsoft. It's not fast, but it's pretty, and it works pretty well. This is really nice for drawing. When I ordered it, I was like, 256 levels of pressure. That might not be worth it. But I haven't noticed any real difference in terms of pressure levels from this, from a Wacom, or from my Artisol. I do a lot of drawing on this, because sometimes, being the lazy piece of shit hack that I am, I just don't feel like coming down here and working. So instead, I just grab this guy, and I lay on the couch, and draw on the couch. Because that's what fat-ass, lazy motherfuckers like me do. So I like this thing a lot. I was actually surprised about how much I liked it, because I had the Surface Pro 2 for, like, a week when it first came out, and I immediately returned it, because it was too heavy, it was too bulky, the 16:9 aspect ratio was not doing it for me. But this guy, because it's 3.2, is way nicer. The keyboard is way nicer too, because it kind of props up like this, like it lays flat, but you can also prop it up magnetically to the bottom, and then you kind of got this nice angle. The kickstand is great too, because the Surface Pro 2 kickstand had 2 stops. This thing is completely, you can stop it wherever you want. This is a godsend. This makes it really nice to work with, because even if you're not using the keyboard with it, you just want to work, that's a great angle for drawing. Or if you're on the couch, you just kind of prop it up at any angle you want. It's nice. Display, fantastic. Laminated to the cover glass, so there's no air gap. The pen works really well. I've done maybe half a Sorcerer's Lost artwork on the Pro 3. Even though it has a Core i3 processor and only 4 gigs of RAM, I don't run into too much in terms of performance bottlenecks. I've actually edited video on this thing too, in HitFilm, which it's no Workstation, but it can get the job done in a pinch. The only thing that I don't like about it is the 4 gigs of RAM, because this thing uses up all 4 gigs pretty much constantly. If I could upgrade it, I would, but I can't. So, that sucks. And I'm probably going to skip on the Surface Pro 4, because I'm hearing a lot of bad things about pen accuracy, which is the entire point of me using this device. So, maybe when the Surface Pro 5 comes out, maybe I'll get another one of these. Maybe I'll get an i7 Surface Pro 3, if I have money. Which, lol, I never have money. But I can window shop like there's no tomorrow, and you bet I'm keeping track on Surface Pro 3 prices. But yeah, I like this thing a lot. Would I get a Cintiq companion over this? Probably not, to be honest. I don't really use hotkeys all that much, and I find the pen accuracy on this to be fine. This was $500. A Cintiq companion's like $1,500. I'm a cheapskate, you know? I'm a Surface Pro poor. I did it again. But yeah, that's cool. I like this a lot. If you're in the market for like a computer that's cheap, but still nice quality, and can do your drawing, this is a solid option. You can get these for like $400 now on the eBays. The type covers are super cheap now too. There's like a $130 type cover when it came out. You can get them for like $30-50 on eBay now. So overall, I highly recommend the Surface Pro 3. Maybe if people are interested, let me know in the comments below. I'll do a dedicated review on this as a device to use in 2016 and not 2013 or whatever when it came out. But yeah, Surface Pro 3, my mobile bitch. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually sitting right here. And this is the unsung hero, I guess, of everything I do, because I try and keep it out of the way as much as possible. And I'm going to try and move it, and it's going to sound like shit. Actually, no, because it's coming from here. This is hooked up to this guy, which you can probably hear me moving around. This is a portable microphone. This is a Zoom H2N. Obviously, it's like a portable microphone kind of thing. It does way more than I ever use it for. I just use it for recording my voice, obviously. And it's hooked up via a 3.5-inch line in to my shirt, which is this lapel mic. This is a Sony something. I don't remember. I got this a while ago. I just clip it onto my shirt and I talk. So when I'm on camera. I usually just keep this in my pocket or whatever, or on a table, depending on how it's set up. And this is how I record my audio, and then I sync it up with the camera, because the camera is obviously far away, so my voice would not sound as close as it was if it's just coming from the lav mic down here. So, so I record the majority of my voice stuff with when I'm on camera. When I'm just doing voiceovers, I'll use the Samson, which I showed before. So this stuff's pretty cool. I like it. I think this was like 80 bucks on eBay, maybe less. It's a decent microphone. The quality, when you just use this, is really good. And I found out just recently, by accidentally plugging it in to get some files off of it, that you can use it as a USB mic as well, which means that thing is probably not even as good as this. So I probably should just use this full time, but I'm lazy and I fear change. So we're not doing that just yet. But this is the Zoom H2n and the Sony something. If I find the model number, I'll put it in the description or something. But these are what I use for my audio. Not great. This is probably getting bottlenecked by this guy, but the convenience of being able to get like decent quality audio without having to like hold this up and be like, hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm talking about something stupid. It's worth the degradation, because this thing just sounds amazing just by itself. But it's good for interviews and stuff. There's a bunch of like modes you can use on here to like change the way it picks up sound. So if there's a bunch of people sitting around a table, I think I use this for a couple of videos I did with my dad on his channel, which he never uses, but he keeps dragging me in to make long podcast-like videos, and we just both record from this, and it sounds pretty good. So, yeah. Audio. Let's move on. We got more fun stuff. So this guy right here is the newest member of Team Rebel Pixels. This is a camera slider. It is a generic camera slider that I got off eBay. I don't know what the brand name is. It was very cheap, but it's built pretty decently. I've used this actually a few times throughout this video, so at this point, as long as the shots didn't come out like total ass, you've probably seen it. One of the most important things in doing tech reviews and tech videos in general, I think, from just watching them, is getting nice B-roll. And I was terrible at getting B-roll for a lot of these products. I was doing it all handheld, just like taking the camera, like dragging it around and stuff. So this kind of fixes all this. This, you mount the camera onto this, and then it slides on this track, so you get nice, steady panning shots, which are a lot nicer than just taking a photograph and panning through the photograph, because it gets like, you know, parallax and depth and variable depth and things like that. On top of this, I have legit, this is called a ball head. Not the best name, but it's a ball head. And so this mounts onto this part, and then you can take the camera, because the camera mounts up here, and you can rotate this by like loosening this up. And then, or maybe it's this one. This is brand new. I haven't used it. This is the first video I've used this for. So this rotates around. You can have the camera at different angles, and you can also mount this onto a tripod to get it some height, which is kind of cool too. But this is fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. If I ever get more tablets or products into review, I can do a lot of cool things with this to make the shots look nicer. So this was something that's long overdue. I probably should have invested in this before I even started Rebel Pixels. But the ones I had seen were all like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. This one was $40, and then the ball head was $20. So it was $60 altogether, which is much more manageable. It's probably like the least fancy one. You can actually make one nicer than this for less money, but I'm not good at that kind of stuff. So I just figured 20 more bucks to get it all put together for me. I'm cool with that. So camera slider, really cool. Going to be using this a lot more as long as I get stuff to actually use it with besides this video. Otherwise, it was a pretty poor investment. We'll see. Next. All right, so what the fuck is this guy, right? This is fucking disgusting looking. This is probably the most important thing for making tablet reviews for me, is this guy right here. This is a teleprompter. It is a DIY, super low-tech teleprompter. So this I did not buy. I made this. Me, my buddy Devin, who sometimes wants to do online creative things and then immediately fizzles out and doesn't do any of them. We both built one of these based off the design from Indie Mogul, which is a great YouTube channel for filmmakers. I'm not a filmmaker, but I wanted one of these. So what this does is it lets you read a script without looking like you're reading a script. So I can't really demonstrate this properly right now because the camera is obviously recording. But what you do, so I can kind of show it to you, is you put the camera right here. So let's say this is the camera. I'm going to put the mic up here. So the camera would go here. Then you drape this fabric over the camera and prop this up. I'm going to do that as I kill my mic. Probably a bad idea. So you take this, prop it up like so. Said like so. Alright, so then it stays up like this. So the camera's back here. What this is this is a piece of plywood, and then this is a picture frame that we put some hinges on and prop up at a 45-degree angle. And then this is an old iPad. So I guess it's not really super low-tech since there's a fucking iPad in here. But what it does is I have a piece of software on here called Prompt Smart. And you load a file from Google Drive, and it'll display it on the screen. And it'll use the microphone to listen to you read it, and it'll scroll it as you speak. So what this does is the piece of glass from the picture frame here, this reflects the text backwards. It hits the frame, reflects. The reflection is then mirrored, obviously, because the reflection, and the text is normal. So I can look at it and read the text. Then the camera is inside here in the back, and the fabric's on here so it blocks out all light. So the camera's shooting forward, it getting the light coming from, whatever, but it can't see the text through the screen because there's no light coming from the other side. So I'm looking at the text, the camera's right behind the text, so it looks like I'm looking directly into the camera, when I'm actually reading what's the iPad's reflecting onto the screen. So I just write my script out, I load it all up here, and I'll just review the thing. And then I'll just put my, B-roll in whenever I have it. But this lets me make sure I stay on point. You can tell right now this is unscripted. I'm rambling like a madman. But I can be pretty concise when I want to be when I sit down and write and revise and stuff like that. So this is what allows me to be relatively well-spoken when doing reviews and making sure I stay on point and say everything that I want to say. So I should really get a can of spray paint and spray paint this black so it looks more professional, because right now it's like super low-tech. It's been sitting around forever to actually just like get completely finished. I still need the 3.5 screw on the back to keep the camera steady. Every time I put it on here, I put my $800 camera just sitting on there, and who knows. And then I prop it up on a tripod. I'm like, if that falls over, that camera's fucking done. So kind of dumb, but this is the coolest thing, because I wanted one of these really bad so I could do videos to the caliber that I do, where I speak semi-intelligently and don't sound like a complete buffoon. Sometimes this closes all the way. Other times the thing that keeps it up, or the iPad, get caught on the inside lid. Whatever. Next. Alright, I had to switch cameras, obviously, because the last thing I really wanted to talk about was the camera that I use. So I had to switch over to my phone. Hopefully the difference between this and a phone camera is noticeable enough that the investment was worth it. This is the Sony RX100 III. This is a stupidly expensive, I guess you would call it, prosumer level point-and-shoot camera. It's more camera than I need. I was researching a good camera to use for my channels and stuff, and I kind of went a little camera crazy. Got really into photography for like a month, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use all these cool things on this fucking Sony RX100 camera. And now I just shoot videos with it. So probably could have done with a camera like a third of this price. This was an $800 camera because I bought it right when it came out, which was really stupid. But it shoots decent video. I think I'm really bottlenecking this guy with my terrible lighting setup, which I really need to fix. Turn it on. Has a 1-inch sensor, which is like a pretty good sensor for a camera this size. It's much larger than a cell phone sensor, much larger than most point-and-shoot sensors. It has an f1.8 aperture, which means you get some really nice depth of field. I'm getting some pretty nice depth of field to you guys right now. But I never use that because I'm so close to my backdrop, I can't really get a nice background bokeh effect. And now that I'm going to probably be shooting against a green screen, the point of spending all this money to get that f1.8 is completely pointless. It has basically no optical zoom. I think it has like a 2 or 4x optical zoom, but I don't care because I just use it for vlogging, so I don't need to zoom in on anything anyways. But it's a nice camera. It's a really nice camera. It's got the flippy screen, so if I want to check my framing without having to like go back and forth and shoot test footage, I can do that. It also kind of does like if I want to look above it, it's got like a little tilty screen. I don't even know if this is on camera because like I can't see my face anymore. So now I have no idea what my framing is like. I might have to re-record this whole shot. I don't know, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. It's more camera than I need. If I want to use a actual viewfinder, it has one of those for feeling old school, I guess. Good for I guess glare and stuff too, but you know, not really my jam. But this is a camera. Nothing really exciting to show about it. It shoots pretty things. You've seen what it can do. You've watched this channel. Yeah. So that's all I got that I really feel like is worth showing. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for getting me to 6,000 subscribers. Let's get to 7,000. Let's get to 10,000. Let's get to 100,000. Let's get to 1 billion subscribers. No, not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. If you do, I will be ecstatic. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. I put the lens down, so I feel like I got to look like this to be in the frame. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. Probably look dumb right now. I'm going to end this video before I look more dumb.